Hey guys, I wanted to make a quick video to address some simple techniques that you can do at home for relief from hip, glute, or sciatica pain. So this is something that we see a lot with prolonged sitting and not getting enough movement and walking. And so there's some really great techniques that you can do at home for stretching and self-massage to get some relief from that glute, hip, even sometimes low back, sciatica type pain. And so before we dive into the actual techniques, I just wanted to give you a quick rundown on one of the major culprits of that sciatica type pain, and that is a muscle called piriformis. So before we jump on the mat and actually go through the techniques, I want to give you guys a little bit more in-depth illustration of what piriformis does, and how we can help it. We are going to get familiar with piriformis. Now I'm going to nerd out on muscle anatomy with you guys for a little bit, but it's just to illustrate a little bit more in depth on what it is that we're actually targeting. So this is obviously human muscle anatomy. And if we turn this guy around kind of at an angle and we zoom in here, this is gluteus maximus, that's our big booty muscle. So if we take that guy off, then what we are left is these deep hip rotator muscles. And what we're focusing on is this guy right here. This is piriformis. Now, if we turn it around, you can see that piriformis actually inserts on the sacrum, originates on the sacrum, the underside of the sacrum here, and then comes over here and attaches to the greater trochanter of the femur, which is our long thigh bone. So piriformis is a hip rotator. It externally rotates the hip. So think of your foot opening up or going duck-footed outward. The main action of it is that external rotation. It also abducts, which means it lifts the leg up to the side, so it moves the femur this way. And it's also just a stabilizer in general of the hip joint. And if we add in the nerves here, now what we can do is this bright yellow one here, this is our sciatic nerve. And as you can see, the piriformis muscle lies over top of the sciatic nerve. And so oftentimes when we talk about sciatica or pain from the sciatic nerve, it's not true sciatica that we're oftentimes dealing with. Now, again, this is up to you and your doctor to find that diagnosis. But oftentimes when we're just kind of feeling that pain and we're thinking, oh, it's kind of sciatic pain, oftentimes what we're dealing with is a compression of the piriformis muscle over the sciatic nerve. And so if we're able to release the pressure or the tension in the piriformis muscle itself, then oftentimes we can find relief from that sciatic pain. So now that we have a little bit better idea on what it is that we're actually targeting, I just want to put the disclaimer out there that I am obviously not a doctor. I am a licensed massage therapist, and everything that I'm offering is meant to be educational in nature and within the scope of my practice as a licensed massage therapist. So if you have any considerations beyond what we're dealing with in this video, please reach out to your healthcare provider. So now with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump on the mat, and I will demonstrate some pretty easy stretches and self-massage techniques that you can do at home to find some relief. So one thing to keep in mind when we're doing piriformis stretches is that because it is an external rotator, meaning that it turns the hip outward, that means that we have to get some movement outward, which often involves a little bit of torquing of the knees. So if you have some pre-existing knee issues, be sure to be really gentle with yourself. And with any of these stretches, regardless of knee issues, just start with the easiest range of the stretch and see if you're needing some more of a stretch. So I'll show you a few different versions of each stretch so you can get less or more of a stretch depending on your personal range of motion. I happen to be really flexible, so I can get into a really deep stretch. That does not mean that your stretch is going to look the same. You can absolutely stay with the lower range of motion portion of the stretch, and that is perfectly fine and will still be effective for you personally. Now this next stretch is called the figure 4 or keyhole stretch. And to start with this, we're going to go ahead and lie on our backs and make sure that you have some good support under your sacrum or your low back here, that you're not arching up too much. So you've got a nice position, your sacrum feels nice and supported. And then to start this stretch, we'll go ahead and put our ankle up on the knee. Now you're wanting to put the leg up, that is the side that you're wanting to stretch. You're going to put your ankle on the opposite side thigh, just below or above the knee. You can start by just giving a little push into the knee. Now, anytime that you're doing a stretch, you want to make sure that you're doing nice deep breaths with it. And so you want to breathe in. And as you breathe out, you just kind of relax and melt into that stretch. If you're holding your breath, then oftentimes you're going to be guarding and you're not going to be getting the full benefit of the stretch. Now, if this isn't quite enough for you, what you can also do is take your opposite side foot that's on the ground and you can move it in closer to your booty and see if that's a little bit extra for you. And you can again push that knee a little bit. And breathing in and melting into the stretch. Now, if you need more of a stretch than that, you can take both hands, and this is why I call it keyhole stretch, is stick one hand through, clasp it to the other hand on the other side, right under the thigh, and you can pull that back. And you should, in this point, really start to feel it here in that piriformis area. If you need more of a stretch than this, you can also grab the front of your shin and pull back. Good. So that is the figure 4 or keyhole stretch. And I will show you another variation of that one using a seated position in a chair. For a modified version of the figure 4 or the keyhole stretch, you can do it seated in a chair. Now I'm on a stool, but any chair will do. And you just kind of move your booty to the edge of the chair. Make sure again that your back is nice and straight. You're gonna put the side that you wanna stretch, your ankle up on the thigh, just above the knee. And here you can again put a little bit of a push down on the knee. Now if you need a deeper stretch, you can actually hinge forward at the hips. So we're not bending like this, but actually hinging at the hips forward, and you can hinge however far you need to go to get the stretch, and then again just push on the knee. So I'm going to hinge forward, push on the knee, I want a little more, hinge more, push on the knee, being nice and gentle and breathing into those stretches. This next stretch that we're going to do not only gives a stretch to the piriformis area, but the trunk as well. You're gonna put one foot straight out, and you're gonna take the other foot and place your foot on the floor opposite your other leg. So the knee that is raised is the one that we're trying to stretch. So you're going to then move your arm to the outside of that knee and turn. And again, you're getting that piriformis stretch as well as a nice low back and trunk stretch. So again, we're gonna put one leg down, put the other one with the foot on the opposite side, tuck our arm on the outside of the knee, and twist. Now when you're doing these, make sure that you're keeping your back nice and straight. You don't want to be hunched over as you're doing this. You're not going to get much of a stretch at all. You can also end up hurting yourself. So keep nice and straight and twist. So the next stretch is called a modified pigeon pose. Pigeon pose is a yoga position, but we're actually going to modify it a little bit because pigeon can be a little bit difficult for some people. So I'm going to turn to the side, and what you're going to do is take the side that you're wanting to stretch, and you're going to put that out at about a 90 degree in front of you. So the angle of your shin to your thigh is about 90 degrees, and then you're going to put your other leg out behind you. Show you this on the other side, just to demonstrate. So you're going to start again with about a 95 between your two thighs here, and if you need a deeper stretch, you can put that back leg further back. Now wherever you're at in this range, what you want to do is slowly, again keeping your back nice and straight, lean forward. Nice and slow, taking nice deep breaths. And then you might only get to here, and that's fine as long as you are feeling that stretch. And again, the knee that is on the 90 in front of you is the side that we're stretching, so as long as you're feeling that stretch and that piriformis, you're good. So you can be here, and you may get all the way down to here. Now for true pigeon, it's a pretty similar one, except that you're going to have the top of your thigh down on the mat Make sure that your knee is nice and positioned. And again, coming down nice and slow. Breathing into it. Keeping your back nice and straight. Good. And coming out of it just as easy as you went in. And that's Pigeon or modified Pigeon. Now this next one is a self-massage technique, and to do this you do need a tool. Ideally a tennis ball, one of those blue handballs. Lacrosse balls work well, so any kind of nice, not completely firm like a billiard ball, but strong enough and has a little bit of give to it. So not squishy like a stress ball, not hard like a billiard ball, but somewhere in between. And what you're going to do is find your hurt so good spot in your glute. Piriformis muscle can be found if you find your sit bone just off to the side of that. So find that hurt so good spot and you can just sit on that ball, and that's simple enough. If that is a tender spot for you, this may be all that you need, is just to sit on it. And you can sit on it with your legs crossed. You can put your legs out. Now, as you're moving your leg, you're activating that muscle. And so a passive massage would be just simply sitting, taking deep breaths, and allowing yourself to relax over that ball. An active approach would be actually moving that leg. So you're contracting and expanding that muscle with the added pressure of the ball, so you're getting all of those muscle belly fibers, a little bit of a massage in there. Now, another way that you can approach the self-massage with the tennis ball is by actually lying down. So again, making sure that your sacrum is nice and supported. Sometimes you have to position it a little bit, make sure that it feels good. And then finding that hurt so good spot between the sits bone and the head of the femur. And here you can actually roll a little bit. And there's really no rhyme or reason to it. It's just kind of moving around and finding those spots that really speak to you. Now, another great way that you can use your tennis ball is actually against a wall. Now I have a curtain up, but I do have a wall right behind here. And so you simply take your tennis ball and again, find your hurt so good spot in your glutes, lean up against the wall here, and you can roll up and down. And you can even get on your tippy toes a little bit. And then you can go side to side. And keep in mind as you go side to side, as you can go side to side at the top, roll up a little, go side to side in the middle, roll up a little, go side to side at the bottom. And there you have it. Self-massage and stretch techniques to release the piriformis and relieve pain in the low back, glutes, and hips. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out in the comments below. Email me at justbebody@gmail.com. Reach me on Facebook at justbestudio or online at justbebodyworks.com. Thank you so much, you guys. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, a comment, and share with anybody you feel it could be a benefit to. And be sure to create some space to just be.